because the next story emerging from Karnataka High Court, we understand that the Royal Challengers Bengaluru has moved the Karnataka High Court challenging the CAT's decision blaming the RCB management for the Chinnaswamy Stadium disaster. RCB is now seeking that the Central Administrative Tribunal's order be set aside. RCB has also said that the CAT's order against RCB violates the principles of natural justice. Remember, the Central Administrative Tribunal, while setting aside the suspension order of an IPS officer, had said that prima facie it appears that the mistake was on part of the RCB. Ananya, coming back to you, those observations made by the Central Administrative Tribunal were very clear. They went through the communication that had happened and then said that the IPS officers can't be held guilty. It was RCB and its communication that ended up with the 5 lakh people congregating near the stadium and Vidhan Saudha. And now RCB, sensing that it could mean more trouble, has sought the Karnataka High Court to set aside that particular order of CAT.
Well, definitely the RCB, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru, has now approached the Karnataka High Court challenging that particular order of the Central Administrative Tribunal, which had stated the RCB is somebody who is prima facie responsible for the kind of stampede that had happened, and RCB is somebody who is prima facie in fact is a kind of an accused as far as the Chinnaswamy Stadium stampede is concerned. Now, what RCB has said in its petition is that RCB was never a party before the Central Administrative Tribunal, and this kind of an order and these kind of observations being made against the Royal Challengers Bengaluru is something that is against the principles of natural justice, and hence this petition has now been filed before the Karnataka High Court. Interestingly, Harish, the petition by in fact the Karnataka government challenging in fact the CAT's decision as far as setting aside the suspension of the senior IPS officer who was actually suspended by the Karnataka government was challenged before the Karnataka High Court. The hearing in this particular matter is also tomorrow. So whether or not RCB's stand would be taken up by the topmost by the Karnataka High Court tomorrow is something that we'll have to wait and watch for. But on the last occasion, in fact, it was contended, and the Karnataka High Court had stern questions to ask to the Karnataka government as to why other options like sending or transferring him was not considered, and such a bleak step of in fact going and suspending the IPS officer was considered. However, the Advocate General for Karnataka had told the court in the last hearing that he will be explaining through facts that it was a clear dereliction of duty that had happened on the end of that particular senior IPS officer, and that's the reason why a suspension was actually considered. However, how well would RCB stand be playing up with the Karnataka High Court, whether these observations would be set aside or not, is something that only time can tell us.
Ananya, also the fact that there is a suo motu case that the High Court is hearing on the entire stampede matter. Do you believe that this is a move to preempt by the RCB of a possibility of the CAT order having any impact on that hearing?
Well, definitely, the Royal Challengers Bengaluru would have consulted its lawyers, because this is a scathing order. If we talk about the Central Administrative Tribunal's order, it was a scathing one as far as RCB is concerned, because there were a lot of observations made completely going on. If we suffice it to say that RCB is somebody who was responsible for the kind of stampede that occurred at the Chinnaswamy Stadium after RCB had won the IPL for the first time, and that is something that did not find way with the RCB, and they approached the Karnataka High Court in order to preempt or to prevent any kind of legal action being initiated or a kind of a proceeding being initiated against them or their management itself.
Well, thank you, Ananya, for joining us with all those details. Now shifting focus from Karnataka.